on the first interview, you asked me a question. You said something to the effect of what made you want to write a book from prison, or why did you want to write a book from prison? And because I was trying to be humble, politically correct, and wanted to refrain from offending anybody or using profanity out of respect to you, your platform, and your listeners, I wasn't 100% forthcoming with my answer, nor how I really felt about the entire situation. Nevertheless, this time I'm going to just be frank and talk without a filter. Not saying that it was your fault why I didn't do that in the first place. I was just being carefully modest. But the real reason I was motivated to write my book from prison, aside from me just wanting to get my story out there, was one, I really feel some type of way about all of the niggas, and I say niggas on purpose, who took the stand on me, who have been out there in the free world, living comfortable, fucking good, having babies, still portraying to be real street niggas when in reality they're rats and state informants. So I'm going into great detail about that in my book, exposing all of them and what they did in court and said behind closed doors to the police. That's one. Two, I feel some type of way about all of the females who just up and left me for dead. Yet, now that they out there getting cheated on, beat on, finessed by niggas, abused emotionally, spiritually drained, left with kids to raise on their own, and getting infected with diseases that they can't get rid of by these low lives. They crying about needing and wanting a good man, but when they had one, this was how they treated him. So it make it hard for a good man like me to ever even want to deal with a female who got kids by another male, or to ever really love again. So I'm shedding light on that aspect of things in the book from a man's point of view. Three, I felt some type of way about how all my family members just abandoned me, as if I did something wrong for not letting them niggas kill me. But now that these clowns are literally out there just killing innocent people for fun at an all-time high, they wish that they had a strong man out there who really loved them enough to protect them, to guide them, and who they could trust to help them raise these babies now, who ain't trying to hear nothing from nobody. So I talk about that in the book. Four, I most certainly feel some type of way about the so-called church folk who claim to be so godly and Christian, yet they got more demons and skeletons in the closet than the sinners they be gossiping about behind their backs. But the minute one of them get caught doing wrong, or one of their kids get caught stealing, selling drugs, go to jail, or end up pregnant by somebody in their own house or at the church, they try to keep their business a secret. So I'm touching on all that in the book. And then last but not least, I got a major problem with the racist judge, the crooked prosecutors, and every juror who all judge me wrong. When all of these individuals are out there living way more sinful lives than I am, was, or ever will, but they never did their due diligence in at least finding out what really happened before they chose to play God and misjudge me, which ultimately led me to being snatched away from my family and sentenced to 57 years. When I was 18, 19 years old, married, taking care of a woman 3 years older than me, taking care of 3 kids who wasn't biologically mine, working 2 jobs. I wasn't robbing, selling drugs. I wasn't scheming nobody. I was going to church. I was just trying to live as righteously as I possibly could, being a model citizen. But niggas tried to murder me for it. And my community, along with the so-called justice system, just went along with the false narrative that was being portrayed by the powers that be as if I was wrong for protecting my life. So if or when anybody read my book, I start off by talking about who we really are as a people from God's perspective. And I elaborate on how we're supposed to be living according to what God say, versus how the world as a whole is living, just to give a little knowledge to the people and out of respect for our historical struggle in this country, because all of this evil going on around us shouldn't even be normal. And I touch on how we as a people should be focused on proclaiming our God-given nationalities and taking care of one another and the kids, but instead as a society, ones are out here preying on each other instead of exposing and eradicating our real enemies. Then I explain, since that's what people choose to do, before I ever allow anybody to make me a victim, I was eventually forced to match people's energy and got on that myself in the name of self-preservation. Therefore, I wrote my book to tell the truth about what really happened and to put it all out there. Of course, I changed the name so nobody could sue me or say I was telling directly or indirectly, because I'm not a rat in no way, shape, or form. But if we gonna tell it, let's tell it all. That's where I'm at with it. If we gonna keep it real, let's keep it all the way real on every level about everything and everybody involved. That's how I feel about it. But we not just about to single me out because I called a nigga before he called me. We're not about to do that. And since they thought they could just stick the police on me, come to court and testify against me after pointing me out, hoping I would just be buried in prison and my voice would be taken away, I created a way out of no way to make sure that my truth was heard by using my brain, an ink pen, some paper, and what resources was available to me. So that's why my book cover looked the way it looked. And it isn't perfect because I had to have one of the bros draw it for me and sending it to the chick who helped publish the book from a prison cell via an Android. Somehow the red, black, and green flag holding the black man and the black woman together that represent our blood, skin, and land, it got distorted. But I'm getting a new book cover made as I speak. I'm in the process of writing a sequel now, which will disclose exactly what was going on and detailing what led up to the homicide happening that landed me in prison. But what I want to say more than anything, Jay Renee, is this. After being forced to sit on the sidelines of life for over 18 years straight, mind you, being purposely punished by being restricted from being able to have sex with a woman in any way, while yet deliberately being surrounded by homosexuals, transvestites, and transsexuals, on top of even being stripped of my pussy books, etc. I really feel some type of way about anybody out there who act like people in prison are just the worstest people on earth, when dudes are literally out there raping women, little girls, and even little boys. People are out there molesting children daily. They are killing the innocent for fun. They neglecting the elderly, pushing homosexuality on the youth, teaching them lies, giving our women STDs, so on and so forth. But people are out there loving the perpetrators doing this. They fight for them. They supporting them, advocating for them, and making excuses for them. But I ain't did none of that. I ain't no snitch. I ain't no homosexual. I ain't bisexual. I'm not a rapist. I'm not a child molester. I ain't no thief. I'm not a drug dealer. I ain't never gave no female no disease, nor do I got kids by women that I don't take care of. And I'm not judging anybody. I'm not judging any of them. To each his own. I'm just a heterosexual man of color, striving to be the best version of who the Heavenly Father created me to be, who was just tired of being misjudged by people who ain't no better than me. And I don't even care about being judged, but judge me correctly, because all I did was simply protecting my life along with the lives of my loved ones who didn't run from danger when it was presented to me. And based off of God's law and the law of the land, that's my right. I was just misrepresented and misjudged in the court of law and in the court of public opinion because people love to meddle in other people's business and stay speaking on shit they don't know nothing about. And since everybody is judging me, my book, No Fairy Tale, is my first attempt at setting a record straight and meant to be a magnifying glass on everybody's life who put their mouth on mine. That way the reader can be the judge of who is who. Because technically speaking, I'm not even a murderer, because self-defense ain't a crime. Murder is when you kill somebody for no reason. And once I present all of my evidence to the world, which is my story, the truth will speak for itself. And if it become a tool that provoke conversation or thought amongst any group or community, I just hope it's for the best. And now that 18 years have went by, and what was only happening in the hood back then is happening all over the globe, I want some real people's feedback on what else I was supposed to do. I'm not a millionaire, at least not yet. I wasn't out there pushing keys away. I ain't had a bows allowed. I wasn't driving foreigns or flying in Lear jets to my own private island. I was just a regular young man out there trying to stay alive and take care of my family to the best of my ability. I wasn't messing with nobody, I swear to God. I just got wrongly convicted of murder instead of self-defense because I got betrayed by my associates and I trusted the system along with my lawyer, but I got railroaded. And like I said before, that was partly because I didn't want to get on the stand and get to testifying about what niggas was really out there doing to make me kill them, because I'm not a rat and never will be. But since my ops and so-called homeboys got up there and told everything except the real truth, now it's my turn to control the narrative. So that's what I'm doing.